Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, bienvenidos. Oye, dímelo, Cinema Club. My name is Don Dino Spezzini, and I'll be one of your hosts for today's movie talk about Gilda from 1946, starring Rita Hayworth, Glenn Ford, directed by Charles Vidor. But I won't be talking about it by myself because I got my pals. We got Michaela, Marina, and Steve, and Jason.
That's
What
me.
up? Anyway, I picked Gilda because I'd seen it come up already in a few different people talking about it and just talking about Rita Hayworth. I don't know if we've done one of her movies before, but I was just, you know, her name comes up a lot, and whenever I see a clip of her or whatever, she's got this like pow to her, and so I kind of wanted to see what it was all about, and that's the reason why I picked it. And I wasn't disappointed in her performance. But before I talk about my first impression, let's give it up for Marina. What did you think? What was your first impression, initial thought of Gilda?
Yeah, so believe it or not, this is not my first time watching it. Just kidding. This
Hmm.
was my first time watching it. I never heard of this before. I First of all, Rita is that girl. I don't care. The movie could have been about a garbage can taking over a lasagna town. I don't even know what that means. Like, she is so beautiful. Like, what the heck? Like, anytime she was on screen, like, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, wow. I'm so happy that somebody found her and put her in this thing that will last forever kind of thing. Like, yeah, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm definitely not up on all the popular black and whites, but it was very nice for it to at least be black and white and not subtitled this time around. So it was cool to
Yeah.
follow. The story was like really, you really got sucked in. At first I was like, it's like, Brokeback Mountain Cartel. Like the bromance was like really intense, but like, but like overall I still really liked the love story that was like going through, even though it was like a lot going on. Yeah, it was really classy, and like, and one more time, like, Rita's just so beautiful. Anytime she would have a song, like, just like every dress, every outfit, like everything was just like so so amazing. That's my first
Nice.
impression.
All right, let's go down. Steve, how about you? First impressions?
First impression. Well, a lot of things that Marina said, I do concur. Uh, Definitely first time watching this. Um, for being a black and white movie, there was a lot of whites and not a lot of blacks.
They were in Argentina, supposedly.
Yeah, it is true. They were in Argentina. And I didn't hear no Spanish either. So for being in Argentina, that was sus too. Uh, but it was quite a delightful movie. She definitely pops on screen. And this was the only movie in probably Cinema Club history that I literally had to do a little bit of research because like sometimes I'm watching the movie, but I'm working on something else. And I was getting lost because at first I was like, okay, they had a prior relationship, but he has amnesia. He doesn't remember her. Like, what's going on? So I did a little bit of research just to make sure that I'm in the same plot line and storyline. Because, yeah, I was a little confused at one point. But once I went back, did that, completely understood the movie. I actually enjoyed it for being like a movie from the 1940s. This was one of the most enjoyable watch for me for a movie for the 1940s. Uh, and yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about the movie. Her performance is amazing. She broke out with this movie. Makes sense. Yeah, first impressions. That's it.
Nice. All right. Michaela, how about you? First impression. Oh, sorry.
No, as I was scolding my dogs.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
my if you hear them, I'm sorry. Um, Okay, first impressions. This is my first time seeing this. It's been on my list for a while. I've heard of it. I've heard about Rita Hayworth being fabulous in it, and that this was like her defining role. And like I agree with you guys, she's just like sensational on screen. She's just one of those people you're like, that's a star. That's the definition of a star. If someone was like, what is a movie star? Like that. Rita Hayworth in this movie. She's just got so much charisma, so much star power. I think it has got to be like one of the most iconic, one of the best character introductions I've ever seen. When he says, I think he says, Gilda, are you decent? And she like flips her hair up and she smiles and then her face changes. I just think it's like, it's so good. And I love a good character introduction, and that is just like expertly done. Um, so there were a lot of things to like about it. I think that overall it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed the story. I thought at times maybe it could have moved a little faster for me. But that felt like it was just the movie of the time, like it felt like the pace felt fine for the time, but now I'm like, I wish it had a little bit more speed. The other thing that is like, besides it not, like it's not a diverse movie. It doesn't really have a lot of diverse characters in it. It's pretty much white men and Gilda. And that was the other thing where I was like, why doesn't this girl have girlfriends? Like, I would love to see her I mean, I understand it based on who she is, but I would have loved to see like a couple sassy friends. Like, she could have had like a frumpy friend, like I just would have
Not just
loved
the
to
maid.
see, not just the maid. I would have loved to see like a couple conversations, even if it didn't pass the Bechdel test, even if it was her talking
Yeah.
with her girlfriends about the men. I would have loved that. I think it would have like rounded the movie out more and made her just a more of a rounded character, and her feelings about the men a little bit like have a little more depth. And I feel like the movie just was like this string of passion, which was, it worked. But I just thought that I was like, man, if this movie was made today, like, of course she would have like two girlfriends who were, there would be like scenes with them getting together and talking about the guys. And I just wanted there to be like a couple. This was one of those movies I really felt it was missing women. I like felt the absence of it. I was like, she is literally the only woman except for the maid. Um, Everyone else is a white male, and it was getting like at times a little hard for me to keep track of all the white guys coming in and out. I was like, that guy's a bad guy. That one, like, that's a good guy. That's someone who works at the hotel or the casino. So there's just like so many white guys, and so that's one thing that
Are they the Germans? Are they the
yeah,
the crowd?
yeah.
I was having issues. The original title was White Man and Gilda, but they decided to shorten it.
So that was like, I think
Yeah,
that was
it
the
was
big thing
actually
for me.
Gilda and the Seven Little White Men.
Nice.
That's pretty accurate. But I think, it was enjoyable overall, and she is just like absolutely fabulous. I could give her, I could take her leave. What is it, Glenn Ford? I know he was
Yeah.
kind of a movie star in his own right, and he did a lot, but he's like milquetoast for me. I'm like, he's fine. I don't think she's like the type of person I'm like, I think she would have chemistry with a piece of paper. She's just so magnetic on screen. And I don't think it was bad that he wasn't like he didn't like stick out more, because the movie, like, she's supposed to be this magnetic person, but it could have been anyone in that part for me. I don't think he like brought so much to the part. But yeah, those are my first thoughts.
Nice. All right. Moving along, Jason, your
Yeah,
initial thoughts?
yeah, I do, I do. So this is my first time seeing the movie. All I ever knew about this movie exposure was just the scene from Shawshank Redemption. Like, I always knew, like, oh, one day I'll watch this movie. But and then like in retrospectives, like this movie's brought up a lot, and her performance is brought up, and like what it meant in cinema and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I went in. I was just kind of watching this thing pretty deeply, and I agree with you guys on all of your takes. Uh, she is absolutely gorgeous in this thing, and it's really like she just has like this magnetism. Like she's just like she's got like charisma to burn. You know what I mean? She's just and this is in 1946. You didn't really see performances like that just yet. You know what I mean? She's just very real and almost seemingly method, but she still got some of the old school sort of film technique things happening. But yeah, she's kind of like really paving the way. It's a really great performance. I kept thinking when I was watching this though, I was like, man, like all these foreign dudes are really just like white dudes. It's just all a bunch of different types of white dudes. Like even like the bathroom attendant. I don't know what they were trying to make him out to be, and
Argentinian.
yeah, I guess just an Argentinian dude. And like what is this? What is this accent that they're all doing? And it's all a little different. It was like this is not good. But so that was a little bit of a distraction. Um, yeah, I didn't really care so much for Glenn Ford either. Like to be honest with you, her performance was so up there. She deserved a better like partner to like tangle with in this movie. I didn't feel like they had any chemistry to be honest with you in this movie. Like I didn't
No.
like maybe at first, but like you said, she would have the way she shot in this thing. She's gonna have chemistry with anybody. But as the movie wore on, it's like I don't know. I don't feel like they're even like friends for real. Like I don't get it. Um, I don't know. Like, and then like his character is like he's not likable, and then he's like supposed to be the good guy. It's like who am I following here? Honestly,
Mhm.
my favorite guy. I know we're going to get to this, but I got to come out and say it. Like my favorite dude is the casino owner, Mister Munster or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
Monster.
Fallon or
Munson.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ballin is a G. And I'm going to talk to you guys all day about Ballin. Like that's my dude. Um, I I did like this movie though. I did like it. It and it does like if I when I think about that it came in 46, it does stand out for moving the 40. The for 46, like especially her performance. I don't even know if there have really been a ton of female performances like that just yet. Like this predates like His Girl Friday and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this thing's like pretty early. Like this thing predates like Bogart, like being like in charge of movies. You know what I mean? So like this is it's a pretty sassy performance, man. I liked it a lot. Uh, I can't wait to talk all about this thing with you guys. Oh, I will say this though. I don't know what version you guys watched, but I watched the UCLA Film and Television Archives version that had been restored, and it was beautiful. It was magnificent.
Mm.
It looked like in some places it looked like it was brand new. It was awesome.
Oh,
I think
wow.
that's the one I saw.
I don't know what I watched, but um, it could have been in a trash can in a lasagna town, and Rita was still gonna be that girl. It's so funny. You guys know me. I'm the first one to want to throw a movie in the trash when I sense any like racism, sexism. This was like so male dominated. I didn't care. I was just like, do you be weird? Where's Rita at? Like she was just so she was really, really she's that girl.
She
100%.
really, really is
Nice.
that girl. Like she's the definition of that girl.
Well, nice. Before we continue on, I'll give my quick first thoughts. First time watching it. By the way, her actual name, guys, Margarita Carmen Dolores Cancino.
Of
She's
course it
half
is.
Span- she's half Spanish, and that explain. Because I looked up a little bit after watching it also because I was like, I need more on like what was going on, and I was like, oh, her mom was like this Spanish dancer, and the dad no, the dad was, and but the mom also had dancing, so she had the performance as a kid, like they
Mhm.
were performing down in Tijuana and everything. So yeah, so that's just really cool. But of course, changing the name so that it would not appear as Hispanic at the time to be able to get more roles, if you will. Yeah, my biggest thing was I just wanted more of her. Like once she appeared on screen, I was like, and I wrote the same thing as Michaela. Yeah, I'm pretty much on board with everyone, but Michaela, I feel like everything you were mentioning, I was right there. But I was like, that might be one of the best introductions of a character. Of just like me, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like that right there. Like it's stunning on so many different ways, and just like everything gravitates to her to the point which looking at it in today's day and age, I'm like, I want to see her story. I want to see the story of that character.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what's his face? Like, yeah, he isn't, the Glenn Ford character. It's like, I don't care. This felt like a dirtier Casablanca almost, or they were
Mhm.
Yeah.
trying to come alive with that, but once she was involved, I was like, just let's follow her. Because then we see her in
Yeah.
Montevideo, and I'm like, all right, yeah, let's see what she's doing. Like she's a strong female character. Like let's have let's follow her story instead of the seven white men or whatever it was. But I will say, story wise, I love the narration was all over the place. Also, I couldn't take it
Yes.
that much. But then it was like, by the way, the war ended. I was like, what? Like
That was like
that's the
so. It was so jammed in. It was like, oh
and
wait, we
but
have
then
to mention this. Like, it was
Well,
just so jammed in.
maybe it's 1946 and people don't have like TVs and radios yet. So maybe they see this movie somewhere like in, I don't know, Brazil or North Africa, and they're like, "Oh shit, the war's over." Well, first of all, did he
they
just say
might
the
have
war's
added
over?
that. You know how it takes a little longer to then release it. War ended in 45 when not a whole year hadn't have gone by yet one before this movie got released. So like this is fresh. Like
It's fresh
this
off
is
the presses.
Yeah.
yeah, like that narration was like, I wonder if that got added, like, oh crap, you know what, let's throw this in. Like we were filming and the war was still going on, but it's really interesting. So that's, even though like the Glenn Powell, like that whole story vibe wise, what was whatever, but her performance and then just the idea of what they were doing with like the backstory of clearly the let's say Nazis, for lack of a better word, and or even the other players from the axis of evil or whatever, that had changed the names of their accounts over to uh, the casino owner, fearing that the Fuhrer was gonna lose, so that their shares would be safe during the war and post-war if Germany lost. Like that idea for a movie in 1946. Like there's certain movies that, so much of this gets overshadowed, I think, because of Rita Hayworth with, hey, it should, because she stole the whole freaking movie.
Yeah.
I do wonder if it had a different name at some point, and when they saw that, they were like, oh, yeah, you know what? No, this is Gilda, that's it. But just the political aspects that was in films like this, or even then Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator, things dealing with the war and with like the fallout of war and stuff like that, I just find it super interesting, more so than like the male characters that were in the film. I don't know if anyone had any thoughts on that aspect of it, the war being part of the backdrop. Um,
I didn't really think about the war too much as the story progressed. When they said that the war had ended or the war had just ended, what that just made me think of is like, oh, the war's ended. All these men are coming home from duty. Oh, the casino must be booming. Like business must be good. All these new clients in now because the war is over. People can like spend money freely and not be dodging bombs and shit. This we about to make some money. That's what I thought it meant. Like he just got in at a busy time.
but it didn't make much sense because it's in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. So it's like, who Argentina wasn't fighting in the war,
But
I
but
mean,
maybe like all these soldiers from around the world might like relocate and end up in Argentina with their backpack.
I mean, that casino looked like it was full of white Americans. It looked,
well,
I mean, I don't know if they were supposed to be Argentinians, but they looked like white Americans. They sounded like white Americans.
well,
They were
that's
like
why I was
ghosts
like,
to me. I kept
well, that
thinking, who are these extras and what was their story in Hollywood?
I mean, that's why I thought it had to do with Argentina, because then I was like, oh, are they gonna add the whole Nazis and Germans fleeing to Argentina? And then I'm like, wait, this is still the same year that the war. Like, how long ahead, did they already had all that information?
Yeah.
And but we're getting way ahead of that. I do think do clearly favorite characters, it's gotta be, I think, Gilda, right? The only other character that had any kind of personality, I'm interested in why the casino owner, because I would say the bathroom attendant, even though that he's, I mean, he can be more stereotypical of a just attendant for the time period, especially. But I like the fact that he just kept calling him a peasant. Like
Yeah.
he the like it made him smarter than everyone else, right?
I
Because
thought he was
his
gonna
whole
like. I thought he was gonna have more arc, that guy, because they were kind of setting him up in a way where I was
yeah.
like, is he gonna end up being like the wise person coming in who's gonna like help in the end in some way? But then he didn't really, because I was like, what's going
He
on with this
stabbed
guy's
that dude in the
accent
back.
and like,
He
what'd you
did.
say?
He saved them. He
He
saved them.
stabbed that dude in the
Oh
back.
yeah, that's right. He did. He did.
He
Yeah, so I guess he did. I guess he did have arc.
he
I
did
don't know. He just
Chekhov's
felt like
gun
he was.
that Kane.
I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna be
Chekhov's
like
Kane.
the boss. I thought like it was gonna be a reveal that like he was like
That's where I
the
thought it was going at first. I thought
I
maybe that
feel
was
like
going to
this
happen.
movie did a lot of that. I feel like there's a lot of like, oh, this is a thing, but not really. Like, like
Yeah.
like also
And
with the relationship, like you guys knew each other before. I'm like, oh, they must have. Like, did they? Because it seemed like maybe they even recognized each other when they first met. Like, oh, you guys knew each other. Here comes a whole backstory. Nope, nothing there.
but
I'm
no,
like,
no,
it,
yeah.
no. But they
I
they
mean,
they do know each other
Well,
from
they
they
do
didn't
know
give
each
before.
us
other, and we
the
got
backstory.
that reveal when they kissed, and
they
which I
did know
think it.
each other
They
Yeah, they
did, but
Yeah,
did. They
from
it
do
was
have
where?
history, so we don't
from
I mean
know.
before. They were a couple, and the whole thing was when he said we don't know each other. It's because they were using different names. So that was the implication when when she's like, I don't know Johnny whatever, or if he
Yeah,
said the Gilda thing. It was the implication was like, I've never met that person. I
yeah.
yeah,
know the other person, which is but again, it just wasn't strong enough to
yeah.
really. Once
Well,
Gilda was just that's why I called it kind of like this Casablanca, right? Because they had the previous relationship happening already ahead of time. Um,
Because like
but
this is what I'm talking about. Like how she needed some girlfriends, she needed some sisters in there. She needed like a mother or something. She needed somebody to talk to who maybe knew about Johnny beforehand or something. Because then we could
right,
have gotten that information with like the girl talk. We could have had like that's the guy that left you. Aren't you pissed? We could have gotten that information, and I kept waiting for a scene like that. I was like, they're gonna catch us up. They're gonna give us the background tea because obviously there's like big tea with these two people that we're not getting. And I kept thinking it was gonna happen, and then all we got really was like these little comments as the movie
yeah,
went on. It was like, I hate you, and you left me, and like they were like little comments, but they weren't like followed up on. Like we didn't have our big conversation moment or anything. And I was like, this is why she needs some sisters or somebody to talk to. Like she needed something, like a girlfriend or like
yeah. They
yeah.
never had the also the this we will always have Paris or whatever the Casablanca thing is, where they have the one moment where they talk about what it had been type of thing.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
he's definitely very breadcrumby. Like, obviously the guy's like, "Oh, it's kind of weird. You're from America, she's from America." Like, like
Mhm.
little hints, and then like you said, the left me thing, because she was like, "Are you jealous that I married him after you left me?" And
Mhm.
yeah,
like, but it
well,
just never was a deep dive. Like,
But like I
why do
see why you would miss this, Jason, because it's like they're
yeah,
so
yeah.
quick that these moments happen that it's
the
like
one
it's
one of the
annoying.
things that worked and didn't work is that every line had like a subtext, like underlined, because they were all certain digs at each other or whatever. Everybody was just there were strays flying everywhere, and like anyone that was anyone had like a dig at them at one point or another. and so that made it hard to be like, wait, what is it? I mean, it had some great lines like, hate is a very exciting emotion,
Yeah, I
right?
thought that was a great line
Very,
too.
very
Yeah.
exciting. And then I hate you so much, I think I'm gonna die from it, right? And then they like make it's it goes with like the War of the Roses, not to be confused with a reboot that they just did, Roses, but
Oh,
like
this
all
had
those
a
few,
reboot? Gotcha.
yeah.
Sorry.
And so so it had all these lines, it had all these things that I don't know if we're watching it from like 2025 eyes of how we've seen so much film and storytelling
Mhm.
evolve versus 1946. Because then I didn't even realize like she has like full on. I read a little bit and they're like a strip tease scene, or she was stripping. I'm like, stripping. She took off one glove and then they're like, that was 1946. That was the height of censorship of the McCarthy and all that. It's like, so to just imagine, and going back to like Shawshank or whatever, yeah, imagine like in the theater and you just see this girl like showing the shoulders and like taking that off and like throwing it at someone. And so our view of this film is like, it's hard sometimes to peel back and be like, okay, for where cinema is now, how can we like see it when it like
Yeah.
came out, right? And the one thing that I guess lasts is just her performance. Like
Yeah.
it's undeniable just how magnetic she is, and not just like in the sexual sensual way, but just like she was able to like from what she was saying or singing, be able to like control the camera.
She really did. She like really held, she's had such strong presence and just like in all these little moments, she's just, yeah, hard to take your eyes away from. I was just thinking like, I think that her relationship with Glenn Ford character Farrell would have been clearer if they had somebody that had stronger chemistry with her. Because I think like if it was somebody who could match her better with like chemistry wise, like there you could just really feel it more. I feel like maybe that would have they could have it could have been as subtle with the language that they had it, but like because I just felt like he was kind of like whatever. He was just showing up and like
I briefly mentioned it in my first impression. Like, I don't understand this bromance that they had going on, because I feel like there were moments where he was more loyal to this rando that like
Yeah.
married his ex than he was to his ex. And it was just so freaking weird to me. I literally was like, wow, this is like been going on for forever. Bros over, bros
yeah,
over the girls. And it's like, but it
yeah.
just seem as impactful as a relationship as it was to her to him, because like okay, this rich man got you in a better financial position, but this is like the love of your life, and then like you're jealous of her later, but you like it almost was like he loved that man more because he like put the picture up in the house that he like shipped her off to. Like I don't understand what they were doing there, because it just like gave me mixed emotions on what he felt about her, because in the end
Yeah,
it
I
was
was
that
jealousy.
part.
thinking the same thing. I was thinking like maybe this is a bromance. They seemed like they were kind of into each other. They were always talking all close. He gave him a job right away. I
He
just
gave the
maybe could
job
this something
right
happening?
away. The job thing was so I kept thinking that there was like some twist coming. They're going to reveal that one of them had information that we didn't know or something, because he literally was like, "Well, yes, I was counting cards and I was being sleazy in your casino, but why don't you just give me a job?" And the guy was like, "You know what? I think I will give you a job." It like was immediate.
I don't
I
think
was
they knew
like,
But I
what to do
You
with it.
see, I thought the whole thing was why he started counting cards was because he noticed that the dude that came in and would place the bet on two and get 2,000 and then just walk away. I thought he like caught that, and so like he caught like someone cheating, and
Yeah.
that so he started cheating as a way to like show off and be like, well, this guy's cheating, even though we later find out that's how he was getting payments for the tungsten steel or whatever, the 2,000. So that fell apart. So I was kind of like, why? Yeah, what's his want? We don't have a what's his want. He's just
right.
in Argentina playing dice and then walking away with loaded dice, and
Hmm.
then he falls into this job. but I didn't see them as pals. I don't know where you guys are getting that. I always saw it as he was a bit resentful of
Okay.
So
the main guy as well. That
I
he's
I think so. This is just like blind eye the emotional wave I went through, right? Like he pitied, like the rich guy like saw a similarity in him from the first encounter where he was getting robbed. And then at first I was thinking what you were thinking at the casino, that maybe he hired him to like help him find other cheaters kind of thing. And then that never really made any sense. I do think that he just saw himself in him, and he thinks he can pay for anything and everyone. And then you got a man who's down on his luck, who clearly had to change his name and go gamble illegally. I just think it was like a super compatible situation. But I think they just struggled with that dynamic and him being in love. Because I honestly thought he didn't love her anymore in the end. And in reality, he was just jealous that those guys that she was bringing around, that she was really doing stuff with them.
you know
And
what's
He was
funny? Like he calls her crazy or whatever. But then like also he's crazy too.
yeah, and she calls him out. She's like, "Can
he's
you
insane.
imagine? I married two insane men in my life." Like she was like a hot mess, but like I feel like again they should have dived in deeper on their origin stories, because what I'm
Yes.
assuming is that they came from really poor scenarios and they've crawled their way up, but like they never really said that, so I don't really have empathy for this like power struggle. Like I'm just what's going on here? But I'm assuming that, because why did he leave? I don't even know why he left her. Like if you guys were this much in love, like
I know.
why?
I wish we had gotten some kind of answer, like he left her to make a life for himself or something. Because, like what you said, Dino, that's so true. Like, I don't know what he wanted. I don't know what his want was. It barely seemed like he wanted Gilda. Like, it barely seemed like he wanted her until they kissed. It wasn't like he was like actively trying to take over this guy's life. Like, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what his game was. And he just thought he was like constantly like thinking that Gilda was slutting around, which then it was revealed at the end by that other guy. He was like, actually, so you know, she hasn't done any of those things. And then all of a
Right.
sudden he was like, oh, okay, so she's not a slut. So I want her now. And I was like, this, which is
He liked
also
his
was
bros.
also
He liked
like
his bros.
which
Like
was
any
also like blowing my mind for like it being a 1946 movie, like how the implication was that she was just whoring around the whole time. And because she kept like leaving with these guys and being like, I don't know, I'm being entertained by them. And he was like, well, you would need to say you were swimming with me or whatever. And I was like, I don't, then he, but he just thought she was like a big slut and he was pissed about it. And then at the end, he was like, oh, well, you're not a slut, so I want you now. But that was after he had married her. It was like, what's the end game with this guy?
well. So then I thought at the very least, yeah. The guy disappears, fakes his own death. I'm like, okay, and then I thought Johnny was gonna reveal something because the will left him in charge financially, but it left whatever under her name. So I thought the whole purpose there of getting married to her was now what she owns, he would own, right? Because
Mhm.
men when they get married in, they get what the woman owns, right? Like that's usually, especially back in the day, how it was. So then he would have full control. So I thought that's where that dominance was going to happen. But also, I just assume it made me think a little bit of Scarface, especially more so the Al Pacino one, where like finally the competition is out, and he, at the very beginning of the marriage, everything is like they're all on the high, literally in that movie. So this one, I thought that there was going to be more of like a honeymoon period, right?
I thought so
Of
too, but it was like they
and then
immediately hated each other.
yeah, again,
And that's
and
where
Yeah.
I
that's
was
where I'm saying, like, I don't you said you didn't understand how he liked him. I think he really liked this guy and he wanted to like lead his legacy and like do right by him. So like, it was just so weird
oh
to me
really?
how
I
much
didn't. Yeah.
how loyal he was. 'Cause I thought it too. I even thought at one point, was this all a scam so that they can take his stuff? But then he was like, "No, you're gonna be punished. You weren't loyal to him. So now you're gonna have to look at him every day in this apartment that I bought you." Like it was weird. Like, I didn't believe he loved her. Even in the end, he's like, I just want to say goodbye. I thought he was just gonna say bye. He's like, I want to go with you. I'm like, okay, what do you? Yeah, all goes back to what you guys said. Like, what? I don't understand him. And
Um,
in a weird way, it kept you kind of on the edge of your seat, but it was very weirdly written. His character, um, he was a wild card for like emotional investment. I didn't. It was interesting.
Yeah, that was a lacking. Like it had so many. Again, if she wasn't in it, like there wasn't that performance, this movie would be uh unforgettable. For no, it would be forgettable. I feel like I just like without her in this, movie's got no legs. You know, like
That's great.
it was missing too many key points throughout the
yeah,
movie for it because the whole time again once she popped up I was like show me more of her like
yeah,
her character like it seemed like she knew what she wanted more, right?
Yeah.
Like everything she did it for a reason, for a purpose, whether it's just to try to rile them up, just to try to get them jealous. Because again, that's kind of maybe what she knew was showing feeling, right? Because I thought that's where she was coming from. That's where the hate is exciting kind of whole idea was coming from. Like, oh, I can only know love if someone's jealous. Like that's if I can get you jealous, that means you love me, type of thing. That's
yeah,
where I was like, well, at least she knows that, or her character, and know that that's all she can. Because then I even like the idea when she was dancing and they brought up some union joke about it's not in my union or whatever. So basically, when the guy was trying to kiss her and was like, no, that's not part of my union job. I thought, it's like, is that actress in the 1940s? Is that current? Is that like what are we going for? I just thought that was a great little throwing line there of just like not good old union jokes still in the 40s. Pretty funny.
She was a powerhouse.
Uh,
The movie was really oppressive for a woman character, and she kind of helped you get out of feeling so depressing. Because, like, at one point when she was like powerless, like she moved away and started to fall in love and trust someone new, and that guy ended up working for her ex, and it was just like
I
I
forgot
felt
that.
so defeated for her, but she still was just like so strong in her character to where like I would have felt like, man, this is pointless. Like I move away and he's still controlling me elsewhere. I have no rights. I have no way to annul this marriage. Like it's just like, but she still was just so exciting and like
yeah.
it didn't feel hopeless because of how she portrayed the character. So
Yeah, like even like all like the slutty things, like the slut shaming stuff, like I felt like she was transcendent, like she was made it so much more than just being this like just
mhm.
slut. I think that that's like really difficult to do, probably especially at that time as an actor, and like to make it this to be this woman that I'm sure women went to go see in the cinema and were probably like, I want to be like that, like I want to look and act like her, and I want to have that kind of draw, because it makes I'm like I need to step it up. Like look at Rita, she's just fucking glowing on the screen. But I mean, she really like makes you want to know more of her, and like you want to like feel you want to know more about her and everything. And I think even like being this kind of like loose character that she's painted to be, until we find out that she's not actually the horn around, which is just kind of slipped in there at the end, which I think is funny. But
Wait, I
like,
thought that meant differently though. Wait, so she
what did
wasn't
you think it meant?
that was
Because there
that the attendant, the bathroom attendant, the one that said she wasn't
No,
horning
it was
around?
was
the cop. The cop.
the other guy, yeah, Obergen or whatever. he
The
wa- he
detective.
Oh,
he basically said like because he's I was keeping tabs on her or watching her or following her around or something, I don't know, but he was like, she's not doing any of that stuff that you think that she's doing. And then
so that makes
literally the husband, like Johnny, just completely changed his mind. He was like, oh really, like okay, I want her now. And then everything was golden between them from there on out.
So the night that she brought that guy home and was gonna take him in the house, her thing, because she even said it. She was like, I was only doing it to make you jealous.
Yes.
And I guess he didn't believe her because we already know this guy loves his bros. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
He just like, woman says it, no. But so basically the guy who had been tailing her was like, no, she kept it real. Like, she was not flirting or doing anything with this guy. She simply brought this person home to make you jealous. Like, she
Yeah.
knew you would stop him and like not let it go down. And like, because he was like, oh, this has been such a fun thing to watch, like her play these games with you. And so once he said it, he's like, oh, really? She wasn't doing it. And then that's when he ran after her and
Yeah.
want to say goodbye. So, because
But
that,
from
and I didn't even know that. Like, that's why he's mad at her and put her in a different apartment because
Yeah, because he's like holding it over her that she's a tramp because he thinks that she's a tramp and he thinks she was tramping around on her on her husband, the casino owner, and he thinks that she's gonna tramp around on him. He doesn't trust her. He's like
okay,
convinced that she's doing that.
okay. So my question then is, when she was married previously to the other guy, was she being a harpy then? Was she being a tramp? Or
No, she was the whole time was
from the
uh,
beginning she was
from the
just
beginning.
knew
She
that it
was
was just a
make,
jealousy thing?
making him jealous. Yep. Because because we didn't, once she's introduced, her once we see her on screen after that, like, and we see her go off with these guys, it's always to make Johnny jealous.
Right. And
yeah.
then him having to figure out a way to tell the boss. Um,
That
Yeah.
he's
well,
in
and what about the guy in Montevideo? Because she thinks it's love. I mean, I don't know. I just assumed maybe it was once she remarried to Johnny, once she married Johnny, that she was just completely clean at that point because she actually did love Johnny, and everything else before then was just, trying to get him jealous to see that, get him to love her, or whatever. But yeah,
I think it
that
was just
was
an
messy.
insecure dude, man. That's
Yeah,
all.
I think he
Yeah.
was just super insecure. And she knew it too, like, because the whole movie, she's like playing with him, He's like,
Yeah.
you need to tell him that you were swimming because that's what I said. And she was like she's just playing the game with him. She loves messing with him. It's payback. Is frustrating that we don't know what he did to her. All we know is that he left, but she's pissed because like the very first moment she sees him, her husband, Balin says that she's like, she doesn't like you. It's obvious from the beginning she's holding resentment towards Johnny, and so she's just like fucking with him.
I think there was a lot of good ideas in this that like
A lot of good ideas. Yeah.
didn't make sense the way
And
at the end of the day.
yeah.
But
And like bringing up Scarface, I thought about that too, about how like that felt like kind of what they were trying to do. I was like, are they trying to make it like this guy wants to take over his life and have the power and have his woman and like all that? Because like that should be more clear. And or is it like some kind of revenge or something, or like whatever it is, like it should just be more clear. And I felt like there were so many good ideas that just weren't, they didn't like flesh him out enough.
and no, this man was in love with that guy. Not I keep joking around about it, but I just think he had so much respect for him that it was blinding. Like it was just like he just kissed the love of his life in the room and he ran after this man because this man walked in on them. Gilda didn't give a fudge. She stayed at the house. He drove after him, goes to the airport, and then he's talking to the cop and he's like, oh, how's he gonna get all the way to Argentina? And he's just like, I don't think he wants to. Like he knew him. He was just like, I think he's just gonna kill himself. Like he was just so, and I get it when people put you on and change your situation. I get the loyalty, but it was just like too much. This is the love of your life.
I
And this
Yeah.
guy that you're idolizing, it was just a very weird dynamic. I mean, I maybe this movie was trying to show us the power of money and love and money. Like, who knows what the messaging was, but it was just very confusing to like figure out where his loyalty lied. Like, it was just too much.
I'm going to add to that I also think that a major theme of this movie was that about how far can a person go for money because there's like a specific part that he's like, I bought her just like I bought you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me was a very important line. Maybe because I watched it twice, but it was to me a very important line because that's why, in that sense, and that's the only way I could see it even possible mentally. Because I wouldn't think the dude is a bad actor. I just think he literally was so into his job type thing that he was showing no emotion in that way because he was being bought. He was
Yeah.
so it's like I don't know if you guys heard about this. This is gossip, very side mission of Cinema Club and the movie we're talking about, but it makes a point. Supposedly, this is what I heard. Bruno Mars is such a person that is addicted to gambling that he owed so much money that I think his last tour was literally to pay back his debt.
I thought
Yeah.
he did like a residency. Didn't he do a residency in Vegas? I heard, or maybe that
So-
was his tour, but it was something like I heard the same thing to pay back.
Something like that. And like,
Yeah.
when people are like that they're like so in the gambling and the whatever, they when they can focus on one thing, they really get like that zone in focus because it's like transferring the whole gambling thing to like this side mission now. And this guy felt like almost like he was like a secret agent throughout
Yeah.
the whole thing to me. So yeah, I think that was a major theme in my opinion.
Yeah. It's the only thing that makes sense, but it's so unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, cause like they clearly had such a connection, but he was more focused on financial stability, power of being alongside this powerhouse, and then also being able to gamble and things. But again, no matter how we like logically think about it, it would have been nice to get a backstory. Did he lose everything from gambling? Like, and like leave her astray because he lost the house and stuff. And so now she's on a mission. She's like, I'm never gonna love someone again for just love. But I need to also be stable. And it's just ironic that they both ended up with the same rich guy because he said something like, "Oh, he got you out of your situation." Well, no, she said he helped me out of my situation, and she was like, "Oh, funny, funny. It's the same thing for me." Like it's like they were so much alike, but I felt that she loved him, but I had a hard time believing that he loved her. Like, it was weird,
Yeah.
but I still like it overall. But there's definitely some loose ends.
Can we talk about George McCready for a second? The guy who plays Balin. Like this dude is the quintessential like rich gentleman. Like as soon as he comes onto the scene, he's just like a dandy. Like he's got this dandy outfit on. He's got a sharp cane that he's poking people with. Like he just seems like he's got it all together, and he's just like kind of like old school movie, like eloquent. You know what I mean? Like of what their idea of it was, and that accent, that that nondescriptive like accent. Like what is that even like? Is it a mix of British New England? Like I don't even know what that thing is. Like who? He's just a worldly man. Like I thought the Balin character. Like I feel like a lot of characters are probably based off of him. Like a lot of people who like
Yeah.
play bad guys or play that archetype.
Rich.
He's
Yeah.
exactly he's exactly who I
Rich
think I
villain.
am.
He said he
What?
what? Say it again.
He's exactly who I think I am. Like
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
he flees the scene with a cape, he changes subjects. Like
Nice. Yeah.
he was just he
Yeah,
was
Balin, if he don't want to talk about it, he's just gonna change the subject. Even if you like call him out on changing the subject, he goes, "Yeah, I know. I changed the subject. We're done with that now."
let's go eat dinner.
Also,
Right.
the is this like? Then I was thinking of the use of the word cartel, right? And just like
Mhm.
how it's evolved, right? Of what a cartel is normally talked about now, right? That it's drug cartels usually. But this is like them talking about being part of a cartel and it's just a monopoly and all that. I'm like, is are this where this phrases are coming from that then ended up getting in other media and kind of trickled down that way? Like it was he had a pretty good plan and he was taking advantage. He actually could also be a better character, like in kind of I think what Jason was saying in more modern roles and stuff like that of people being like, yeah, I'll deal with the Nazis or warmongers and all that, but actually I'm gonna take advantage of them and make money and basically write them off. You know.
It's funny you said
So
that because like I because there's no mention of drugs, right? Like there so I had to look it up. I'm like, what does a cartel mean? Like we know it. When you think cartel, you think Mexico, cocaine. Like I know that's what I think. I think of, not necessarily Mexico, but like the other countries. But like so I never realized that it's like it's the manufacturer thing. Like so the definition is an association of manufacturers or suppliers with the purpose of maintaining prices at a high level. And so obviously we use that word now because that's how they control the prices of like the certain drugs, but I didn't realize that it started off in just like everything, right? You're ending a war and like how do we control the prices? Like it's so yeah, that's funny. I forgot that I went down that. I'm like cartel. I'm like where are they? I was like, where is the kilos at? Like where you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like I didn't realize it. But yeah, I'm not racist, Steve. All right. There are some cartels in Mexico, but I'm trying to think like what's the popular country that for coke? Was that it's like
Colombia.
Colombia. There you go. There you go.
Steve's favorite country.
Yeah, that's why Steve goes there. You know.
Where the kilos at?
Where the kilo? So that was interesting for me. I never realized that word was used before, you know, before like drugs. And maybe, there were some drugs involved. But I didn't realize how big that word was and what it really meant. It was just to me, I thought cartel was like a slang word. I didn't realize like it had like a deeper meaning for the economy.
Nice.
Yeah. The ending of the movie kind of felt sped up because that whole thing, like, he
Yeah.
has one meeting with the other people of the cartel, and then they've moved forward so quickly, and I'm like, it just felt like, again, that's why I was like, I just rather see her and what's going on with her life, because there are these somewhat side plots that aren't never really dealt with to the
Yeah.
full extent to where it could be more interesting. Because again, the whole war politics background I thought really interesting, especially again that this came out like during and maybe filming while the war was still happening before like I said, the movie came out in April, I think, of 46, and like Japan signed what we got uh, war ended in September, ended in September 1945, and the movie came out March 14th of 1946. So, I mean, I was really interested in those plot lines of, especially in that time period, of what they were trying to show, and I don't know if that was taken out, if it was more, and then they just felt. I also want to know if it had a different title, or was it also once they felt like, oh, this is it, like Gilda is gonna be Gilda, so let's just call it that, and that's what we're gonna sell, because she's not the main character yet. They named the movie that because she is the main character, if that makes sense, I guess. But that's how I see it.
I agree on the rush ending. It kind of made me upset. I was like, what a loser. Like our homie has I was like Balin has like built this empire and you're just giving up the code safe to the cops in a month. I was like, I don't know what the timeline is, but I'm like, he worked so hard to build this cartel. And like he legit was just having a sad day. He's like 24 right, 12 left. I'm like, he trusted you, and you
Yeah.
were just like fumbling the bag. Like what? Like again, I can say a million times how many times Farrell pissed me off in this movie, but that was another thing. I know maybe they needed to end it, but like that was just such a waste. Like you are not a leader. Like what's going on? You ruined the whole operation within like such a short timeline.
But see, that's the whole thing. Like he was like, we could either have a successful business, or we can like start messing around with women. And he tried to warn him right away, like, "Hey, man, we promise, like, we're not going to
Mhm.
focus on women, just business."
Yeah.
And soon as the woman entered the story, like, they
Yeah.
already knew who they were. They're like, "Well, it's over. We just ruined everything."
And it was Gilda too. Yeah. I'd ruin a whole empire for Gilda.
And
Yeah,
and
you
they
gotta.
knew it.
She's the kind you gotta lock her down. You gotta put a baby in her quick.
I mean, the sad part of this is Rita Hayworth, I guess, married 5 times, including Orson Welles,
Yes.
and she basically then stated that one of the problem was everyone she married thought
They were
they were
marrying
marrying
Gilda.
Gilda, and then
That's
they
like the
would wake
famous
up. Yeah,
quote I know from this whole movie is that they would like, yeah, go to bed with Gilda, wake up with her, and be disappointed.
yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So sadly, that was the thing. Then, so okay, I don't know. You guys ready for final thoughts or anything else you guys want to bring up before we get into that?
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I know, because I feel like we're all pretty much in agreement. Like, it's a great movie for like 1946, and it still is like great in so many ways. But again, it's mainly because of Rita Hayworth, and
Yeah.
like anything else in this movie, like you cut her out of this movie, and it's just like there's nothing to it, nothing other than a little bit of the politics and the war stuff that I think is really interesting, just in a historical sense of where how the movie was made, it came out, all that. But other than that, she makes the
What about
movie.
if it was Brokeback Mountain but about gay gambling?
I guess I missed that. I didn't see them as liking each other that much either. But maybe I was just
I
too
felt the bromance. I know what you guys are talking
into
about.
Gilda. I just assumed he was gonna pull a quick one over his. I thought they were playing each other on different levels, and that also just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And maybe that's again because we've seen so many movies that have taken similar things of who is conning who type of
Right.
situation, but it just didn't end up happening.
Also, it sets it up that it
Um,
would be like that because he's a gambler. That's the first shot of the movie is him
He's cheating.
gambling and cheating. So you would think that a cheating gambler, you would just assume that the story would be that he's going to not be trustworthy and turn on this guy. So it's like it's
yeah,
And
a bummer they don't pay that off, really.
also I think that's the biggest issue of the movie because it goes so fast from that to like he's now working for this dude
Yes.
so fast that it's just like that becomes a little problematic because you're looking for a payoff or the backstory or something.
Yes. Yes. I was thinking, I
It's
was
the
like, it's
40s,
gonna
man.
be
Things
like,
went faster.
what'd you say?
I said it was the 40s. Things moved faster.
yeah. And, yeah.
Also, there were no cell phones and like no and like barely telephones. You know what I mean? So like I guess I'll see you again. I don't know. I mean, it's like that's how everybody left each other in the movie. Like, well, I guess maybe I'll see you, maybe I won't. Who knows when I talk to you again? Like, I did. No one else think about that during the course of this movie. Like, these people had no way of
I
contacting each
did
other.
hear a guy said, "Add me on Facebook." I did hear.
I thought, it's
Yo.
funny you mentioned the phones because there's that one moment where like those Russians come in and he's holding the gun to Johnny and he's like, you got to get Balin. And Johnny just picks up the phone and I'm like, where does that phone connect to, right? Is it connect to like some operator? But he literally is just like, Balin, hello, blah, 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 blah. Like, just doesn't press, he doesn't press shit. He just starts talking. And I was like, wow, that phone's like, must be a direct line. It just must
Yep.
be going right. It didn't ring or anything. It was just like, hello.
Directly to Ballard.
Directly to
That's
Balin, and Balin
hilarious.
just happened to like
Yeah.
have it up to his ear at the time. I was like, that was funny.
Um, yeah. All right. Yeah. I guess let's get in final thoughts. I'll go first, real quick. Um, yeah. I in agreement. She's amazing, Rita Hayworth. Great character. You would think, yeah, the two lines that we didn't mention right away, but um, was Johnny tells her, because it seems like she's cheating on Balin or whatever, doesn't bother you at all that you're married? And she responds with, "What I want to know is, does it bother you?"
Yeah.
So that was their whole spiel that then they ended up really getting behind. But again, it felt like what we're talking about, there wasn't really a whole lot of payoff because it was like, is this a jealousy movie? Is this a con movie? Is this like a Ocean 11's twist or 12, which where they're playing on jealousy, but at the very end, it's like, oh, we were working together all along type of situation. Um, we'll never know. She kills it. I guess Fred Astaire, she was in one, if not two movies with Fred Astaire. So now I really want to check those movies out because then apparently I also saw that when they asked Fred Astaire who was his like favorite dancer or whatever or partner, and he mentioned Rita Hayworth. So I'm like, I can't believe I didn't know that beforehand either. So that's really intriguing. I'm really glad we got to watch this and kind of um, talk about it because it seems like everyone who saw this movie, not just now but throughout history, came out thinking the same. Word. Damn, girl,
Hmm.
Gilda's got it going on. So yeah, that's my final thought.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, well, I'll do my final thought then, if that's okay. Um, so final thought, I still like this movie. I would totally watch it again for Rita Hayworth, if nothing else. She was fantastic in this thing, and I do want to see more Rita movies. I don't know if I've seen anything else with her in it. I mean, I imagine I would have had to, but I don't even know her filmography for real. So we'll see. I will say that one of the things that maybe like problematic or contingent of the time is the fact that as the audience we keep waiting for the con to happen. It seems like they're setting us up for like a mislead or a old turnaround or switcheroo, a twist, and it never comes. You're like, oh, everybody's just playing this thing straightforward, huh? Okay. And I'm like, I guess maybe those movies where the big con thing doesn't happen yet. Maybe we don't get those in like the 50s or 60s or something. But yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't happen in this.
I think it might be even later because remember they even added scenes for the spaghetti western for Clint Eastwood that they couldn't have an anti-hero, that they had to have someone make Clint Eastwood's character go into town to clean it up
Mm.
in the spaghetti western, and he refused to film that scene, so they just got someone else to film from behind them and played it as Clint Eastwood. So if this is 46, maybe that's why at the very end they had to come in and be like, "Hey, by the way, she didn't cheat on you. She's a clean girl." As a happy ending. Maybe that was, a Hollywood
Yeah, maybe that was
a
a
Hollywood
big
thing.
deal back in the day.
Yeah.
That's a
She's
big
not a
deal.
slut.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, maybe the censors. Maybe it would have never played. People in America would have never played it if she was really sleeping around. I mean, it was 46, right? Good point.
They said,
Um,
JK.
yeah, like this is. I mean, if you think about it, it's crazy. This is just like what six? Not even. This is like what? Yeah, about 15, 16 years into like talking pictures. Like, this is a pretty early movie in cinema, right? Uh, I would recommend this to a lot of people. Like, I would say if you ever seen Shawshank Redemption and you've never seen Gilda, even though this is like a cool little plot point in Shawshank, fun little joke in Shawshank. Like, I think you should see it. And Rita Hayworth is worth the price of admission. I think most people would actually like this movie, and I would recommend it to most people. I mean, it's a gangster flick. I mean, not even on the just not even on the surface. It's just its core. It's a gangster flick. It's about dudes doing criminality and organized crime. With an illegal casino. Uh, yeah, this is a good movie. This is a good movie, and yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. Can't wait to see more Rita Hayworth.
Cool beans. Who we got next?
Okay, I'll go. Um, Okay, my final thoughts. I think that, like we've all talked about, that there's like a lot of problems with the plot, a lot of things that they could have done differently or better. But the biggest takeaway is definitely Rita Hayworth was a star and deserves her place in history as, you know, an icon because of this movie. Like, not having seen her other movies, I'm like, she deserves it because she brought so much to this movie. And I would definitely watch it again for her. I would definitely watch it again for her because she's so fabulous. And I also think that the lighting was so beautiful, which we didn't really talk about like the filmmaking that much as far as like the way it looks. But I think that the lighting was really gorgeous. And I know, Jason, you said you mentioned it, that you watched it like it had been remastered. And I would like to watch it again, the remastered version, because I thought that there were just a lot of like beautiful lighting choices. And I was gonna say I would recommend this to people to watch, especially anyone who's like, I would love to see a movie that really showcases like what a movie star is. I'd be like, you gotta watch Gilda. Um, Especially it's such a good example of when a movie star is so good in a movie that's kind of mediocre. And I feel like, you know, this movie having so many problems, like it's something that like Julia Roberts is able to do, that there's only a few people that are able to do, where they really just carry a movie and make it a hit, make it a memorable movie when it's maybe not that great of a movie.
Yeah.
And there are like, you know, a handful of actors that can do that. And she did that with this movie. And I think like for me, it will be a rewatch when I am directing something where I really want my female lead to really be showcased and to stand out. I'll rewatch this and I will take lighting cues and I will look at how they framed her and I will be like, that's how you do it. I want to do it that way. So I'd recommend it to people who are like lovers of film and want to learn about like how you showcase someone like that, because it's done so superbly.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it does make me more interested in seeing what else she's done, because I can't imagine that anything would have lived up to this role. And it made me immediately fascinated in Rita Hayworth. And yeah, so I would be curious to see what else she's done. So yeah.
And made me, what you just said real quick made me think of is it that meme that says the character that doesn't realize they're not the main character or whatever? I don't know that, because she's not, but she's got like that main character energy, even though she's not
Yeah.
the main character. And then just of the lighting, real quick, she was like in shadow at times, and like
Yes.
her eyes
Yes.
were glimmering. I'm like, I don't know how they
Yes.
did that. Like
Yes, there was
she
like a
is
couple
in
great, yeah, there was like a really great shot of her where she's like fully in
yeah
shadow from like here on up, and like her hair was like shining, like
backlit.
it was gorgeous. I was like, they
Yeah,
really knew what they were doing. Like they made her look like this woman who was mysterious and enigmatic, but somehow like otherworldly at the same time. Like
yes.
it was stunning. They did such an amazing job with lighting her.
And her eyes were shining through the her shade, but like
Yeah.
backlit hair, chest down, light. I'm like, yeah, it was on more than one shot. She's like, her face is in the shadows, and her eyes are just
Just like
coming through.
glowing. Yeah. It
Yeah,
really kind of like made her like otherworldly, or like, I don't know. It just really like added to the enigmatic feel of her.
yeah, 100%. All right, Marina or Steve?
I'll go. Um, Overall, really enjoyable. I could have taken away all of the movie except for when Rita is on stage with the live band. It would have been just as good of a movie. Like, I agree with what you guys saying on like just certain shots of her. So interesting, like how you can find these gems from this time period. Like cameras are like so much better now, and there were certain shots of this where I was just like, I can't believe it comes from the 40s. Like it was just really well done. I would recommend this to like those theaters that like film older movies so people, can come see something, because it would be kind of cool to see this like on a big screen, especially come like I just said, I really loved when she was doing her dancing and singing with a live band. It almost felt like it wasn't connected to the movie, and it just felt like a really cool performance. It'd be kind of cool to see that on a bigger screen. But yeah, it was well done. You know, I always get a little nervous with these older films, so it's always good when like one hits and it just makes you really realize where cinema came from. And I just you can't help but think about it when you're watching it. Like, wow, these people really came together in the 40s after the war and decided to make something. So pretty cool to be able to see it, and glad that you know people got these creative ideas. It'd be nice if it could have been a more diverse cast, but you know, it is what it is, and thankfully we've gotten better. But overall, still a really, really good film to watch if you're really into origin of cinema.
Nice. That would be a fun double feature, having Gilda followed by like Shawshank Redemption,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
like a New Beverly or something like that. So Quentin, get on it. And finally, get one more. Uno más.
Final thoughts. Enjoyable movie. I do agree. Now that I ponder upon the lighting and stuff, I was like, they definitely did stuff. I didn't focus as much as you guys, but like, they definitely did stuff for Rita Hilda. Uh, in the yeah, the hammock energy for everybody. Uh, it's they did stuff for her because every time she came on screen, whether she was singing or dancing or whatever, uh, she popped, you know, on the screen for sure, and you know her performance was amazing. Jason, I don't know why you didn't say nothing about the budget of the film and things like that. I thought you had your numbers and everything, but it's all good. Shout out
Like
to
six
the
thousand dollars.
Scientology sponsored Eyes Wide Shut party. I saw John Travolta out there. I saw Tom Cruise. You know, I saw them with the little Robin mask doing the little Batman dance. It was great. I will definitely, just like Marina said that she would like to see it on a big screen, I would like to see this in either a projector, like a really good projector, or in a drive-in movie type
Oh, it'd be
situation.
good in a drive-in. Yeah.
I
That'd be
think that
great.
would be like so special for this particular film.
Oh, what
It's
about
like
in the cemetery?
IMAX of its time, you know. What?
The cemetery that does the movies
Yeah,
in
the
the
An
Hollywood
cemetery.
Cemetery.
SPF.
Yeah.
I love that you guys are all interested in seeing this one on the big screen. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Just for budget concerns, little housekeeping here. 2 million to produce this bad boy. It grossed approximately 6 million at the box office.
So adjusted for today's price, how much is that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not going that far.
I thought that was the adjusted. I thought
Man, they spent a lot of money. It was probably 90% Gilda's hair and makeup and wardrobe. She's probably wearing silk. No I'm kidding.
I mean, you're right. 2 million is a lot for 1946, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a
I thought that was the adjusted, the one that you said, or no?
oh,
I
you're
don't think
saying
so. No, this thing would have made way more than 6 million theatrically adjusted, right?
what are they spending 2 million on? It'd be something I'd want to research because, like, I don't know, like, is it like post-war?
Locations, costumes, actors,
Yo,
all the things that make a movie
those
cost.
little masks, you know how much they cost back in that day?
They had a mansion. I had a hotel for weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to. I need to see the review, a report. No,
Flying a bunch, flying a bunch of non-union and union actors to Argentina is very expensive.
I mean, on Wiki it's saying the box office of the 6 million. It's in parentheses as rentals. So I don't know. The numbers for this is, I think,
oh,
off.
interesting. Interesting.
So I got on Google. It says U.S. and Canadian theatrical rentals is 3.75 million. I don't exactly know what that means. I didn't say does it mean like video boxes that were rented back in the day from the rental houses? Like I don't know what that means.
Because this is what I got. Domestic. Oh no, sorry, international. Just worldwide it's like $6,000. So I don't know where, for the time being, for 1946, the numbers aren't adding up. I guess. Yeah, it is not correct because I'm seeing $6,000 as part of it as well. So
Six thousand dollars.
yeah, is what I'm in 1946, right? Doesn't make sense either. But then
No.
again, how many countries was actually like taking in money and returning the money and all that, like post World War II?
Oh,
Is 1946, like Colombia, are they going around and getting all the money back? It's we'll have to be doing more digging on this actual
Yeah.
box office numbers. But on that note, Jason, any other questions you got?
I do. I got one for Steve, and that's what do you got for us next week?
Next week, as you can see, I'm chilling in the hammock, so it is not my turn next week. It is Michaela's turn.
Hey, hey,
All
hey.
right. Next week, I was inspired by everybody picking movies that we were kind of on a run where people were picking movies that they saw in their youth and wondering how they held up. And I've been thinking about this movie for a long time. It lives in the back of my head, but I haven't seen it in probably like 15 years. So I've been meaning to rewatch it, and I thought, why don't we watch it together? It's Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet,
Okay,
or
Ooh.
Romeo plus Juliet, however you're feeling.
that's right.
Is
Okay,
that a
very cool.
cross? All right.
I'm
Also, might
excited.
have. I'm gonna say now maybe the next best introduction of a character. I was gonna put that out and see if
Wait. Oh,
we
well,
finish it.
okay. I already have ideas on who you are talking about, but
I
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie, so
that could go for a few people in the movies based on my memory. But let's see how how it holds up.
Yeah.
Watch
Let's
these
keep that.
credits.
Let's keep.
Credits will be like introducing.
Yeah.
Now, do
so
you remember when movies would do that, like with kids? I don't think they do it anymore, but it would be like, and introducing this child actor as the main
So
character.
they do it in Roman Holiday with Audrey Hepburn, or Breakfast at Tiffany's, whatever one was like first or second, because the
It
studio.
was a Roman Holiday was her first one,
Okay,
her
so
first
yeah,
like
that was
big
the
one.
introducing Audrey Hepburn. They were very
Yeah.
pleased to do so.
They also did
Wow.
it for. I mean, as recently as Doctor Who 50th
okay, real quick
anniversary
for El
movie.
Dantino, Jason underscore Echo, Steve Des TV,
Oh,
the Marina Love, and Michaela. We'll catch you next week. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
bye.